All you need is love, but a little chocolate now and then never hurt. Charles M. Schulz said that, and I have to say, makes perfect sense to me, because all throughout the world, food is a way that we communicate love and friendship with one another. So it's no surprise that couples list good food as a top priority during the wedding planning process. Now, knowing that a menu can make or break a wedding, many couples and caterers opt to conduct a wedding tasting sometime during the planning process. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. My name is Andrea Eppolito. I'm a Las Vegas-based wedding planner, and we are here today celebrating life, luxury, and above all else, love. So if you, like me, are a wedding pro or an event creative, if you are a lover of all things weddings, romance, business, and lifestyle, then welcome, you are in the right place. So please take a moment, click the subscribe button, and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss a moment of the inspiration and the education that I provide here every single week. But now, let's talk about food. A tasting is one of the most exciting things that you will do during the wedding planning process. Now, here are the things that you should consider before you take your seat at the table and start to eat. First things first, what's included in your tasting? Many caterers and venues do include a tasting for the engaged couple and their wedding planner. They will charge, however, for additional guests such as parents, siblings, or any friends. Number two, you want to limit your entourage. Regardless of the cost, it is never a good idea to bring too many people to an event that requires you to make a decision. Having multiple opinions is not going to help. It's only going to make it harder. And so it's best to keep your tasting as private as possible and rely on your wedding planner and the caterer and the chef to answer questions, to serve as tiebreakers, and to give you an honest opinion. The only time that I recommend including others, like parents, is if they're paying for the wedding. If that's the case, then they absolutely deserve a seat at the table, and there are times when you need to defer to them. But generally speaking, keep it small. Next, select the items that you're tasting in advance. Now, some venues opt to have group tastings that feature many items, but high-end caterers and luxury vendors are always going to keep your tasting private and allow you to select the items that you're really interested in. The general rule of thumb is 3 to 6 butler passed hors d'oeuvres, 2 to 3 salads, and 3 to 4 entrees that you'll be tasting. Plus, you want to taste a wedding cake with flavors and fillings. Now, if possible, ask if your entrees can be a duet. A duet is an entree that has 2 different proteins, typically a beef and a fish, on one plate. If you do this, you can potentially taste up to 6 different entree items and then mix and match based on your preferences. Also, if there are personal dishes that you do not see on the menu, maybe it's a family recipe, you want to give that information to your caterer and the chef well in advance so that they can perfect it and play with it before they serve it to you. The next thing you want to know is that documentation matters. At each tasting that I manage, I take both photos and videos of the items as they're served. I also take a photo of the actual menu, and then we rate each item on a scale of 1 to 5. Because by the end of the tasting, my couples are typically so full that they're cross-eyed, and it becomes very easy to get confused and not remember, did I like the beef? Did I like the chicken? Which salad did I want? If you keep really clear notes and you document everything, you can go back and easily match the note with the photo and the video so you know what everybody's talking about. This will help you avoid duplications on your menu. Once you've selected the favorite items, review the list and make sure that you're not repeatedly serving the same thing. So for example, if you have shrimp cocktail passed at the cocktail hour, and then you have a shrimp and filet, that might be overkill. Same thing goes for beef. If you find that you selected beef skewers, beef crostini, and then short ribs, you're gonna wanna replace one of those because you wanna add interest and variety to your menu. You also really wanna keep your guests in mind. Consider the tastes of the people that are going to be coming. whether or not they're adventurous eaters. If your family and friends tend to be very traditional and straightforward in their everyday selections, you may want to stay away from things that are raw, deconstructed, or maybe gamey. Perhaps you and your fiance are vegetarians, but you know that you have a predominantly meat-eating crowd. If that's the case, you can plan to serve a menu that has a fish, a chicken, or a beef on it, while the caterer serves just a dedicated and specialized menu for you. Now, as much as you want to kind of keep your guests in mind, you also want to create an opportunity to expose them to something new. How many times have you been to a restaurant and you thought, God, I'd really love to try the duck, but what if I don't like it? Consider adding little items like that to your cocktail hour. This way, your guests have a chance to try something that maybe they didn't think of in the past. Duck, lamb, sashimi, or any cultural and ethnic foods that tie in your heritage may seem new and exotic to some friends and family, but this really gives your menu an edge. And it's an opportunity for your guests to try something in a risk-free environment, but you also get to kind of delight and surprise them, which is one of the big goals when you're bringing all these people together. Next things next, I want you to give very specific feedback to your caterer. Your catering manager and the chef truly want to know what you think. This is not just a dog and pony show for them. So take this as an opportunity to discuss the menu. Talk openly and freely about what you like and what you don't. And give very specific feedback, such as, I loved the vegetables, they were cooked perfectly, but the sauce is a little too salty. Use as many adjectives as possible, words like spicy, bland, and undercooked. If possible, name the specific spice and flavors if you can identify them, and talk about texture. When you're doing this, it allows you to make changes on site if possible. Many times there's a chef on hand that is plating and cooking dishes, and so if there's a seasoning that's off, or if there's a combination that you would like to try together, it is very, very possible that the chef and the catering manager can go into the back, tinker with what you have, make the adjustment, and then replate the entree or the salad and serve it to you so that you can see it, taste it, and give your final approval on the dish immediately. Which leads me to the next tip. You want to finalize your menu right then and there. Don't wait to go home and then review your notes. I promise you, you are going to forget the nuances of what you liked and what you didn't and what you tasted. It's so much smarter to finalize the menu on site while the experience is very fresh in your mind. Now, depending on how your caterer serves and presents the menu, they may set out master dishes so that you can visually review everything at once. If you do this, you'll actually be able to see, these are our 6 hors d'oeuvres, this is our salad, this is our entree, and this is our cake. Either way, you want to review your notes and get back with the final answers 24 hours from your tasting. This is going to ensure that you have made the best decisions possible while all of those flavors are top of mind. Now, what happens if you follow all these tips and all these steps and you go home and you find that you're really struggling a few days later? Can you go back and request another tasting? Yes, you can. But here's the thing. If the issues were based on quality, if you simply didn't like what was offered, if they didn't get it right, then your venue may be willing to give you another tasting at no additional cost. But if you simply are kind of changing your mind or you're not quite sure, in that case, the venue may ask for you to pay just for the items you're going to taste at the second kind of meeting. Now, as an Italian, food is love. For my people, this is how we communicate. It's the center of every gathering and celebration or random Tuesday. And as someone who loves to cook and serve and eat, I can tell you that the menu is really going to be center stage at your wedding. So please take time to really review it. Ask very specific questions in advance. And a pro tip, wear stretchy pants because there is a lot of food. So please do me a favor, go into this with an open mind, enjoy your tasting, and please share what you plan to serve at your wedding below because I am dying to hear and live through this vicariously through you. If you have any questions about how to interact with a caterer, if you're not sure what the best way to set up a menu is, or if you're just really torn about maybe doing something unexpected for your guests, I read and respond to all of my comments. So please go ahead below, leave me your thoughts, let me know if this is helpful. And if you love this channel, it would mean so much for me if you would just like it, share it, tell your friends. This entire platform is here for you. And as always, I am here celebrating life, luxury, and above all else, love. I am Andrea Eppolito, and I look forward to talking to you again next week.